but the Chiefs were home, but the Bills are on the road. So both teams were in like a shock, and both teams are 4-1. So yeah, tonight somebody's got to be 4-2, and somebody's got to be 5-1 in the AFC, and we'll find out which one of them will be after tonight's games. So Travis Kelce primed for a big game. So Travis Kelce, one area in which the Bills have struggled is defending opposing tight ends. And in Chiefs tight end Travis Kelce, they'll face one of the best in the game and one of the finest all time in terms of numbers. So Kelce, who has 32 receptions for 505 yards and 3 TDs, leads all tight ends this year, and receiving yards in the Bills defense has allowed more yards to tight ends, 418, than any other club. This has all the makings of a huge game for Kelce, who's had 6 or more catches in 4 or 5 games and 70 or more yards receiving in all but one contest. So that's a game that's on now. If you want to go ESPN, check it out right now, you can, or Fox or the Amazon Prime network, because Fox is streaming the game, not ESPN. Fox is streaming the Chiefs and Bills game. But ESPN is hosting a Monday Night Football. And guess who they're hosting? They're hosting the Arizona Cardinals, who are everyone's dark horse darling to emerge from the rigid NFC West as a contender. They'll be going up against the Dallas Cowboys, who are without Dak Prescott for the season. That was a huge blow to Dallas's playoff chances right there, losing Dak last week in the Giants game. That was a huge blow. Hopefully Eddie Dalton can ride them back in the playoff contention. I hope that doesn't happen because I'm not a Cowboy fan. I don't even like the Cowboys, but that's a huge blow losing Dak, though. So Dallas Cowboys were a big-name led-in Super Bowl contender that was going to shrug off last season's disaster. Now they collide at the crossroads that is Monday night, each of them coming off wins on the scoreboard, but huge losses due to injuries. Each of them in need of a pivotal victory. The Cardinals, who are sitting at 3-2, face the Cowboys, who are sitting at 2-3 and in first place in the NFC East, but not for long. At 8:20 p.m. Eastern Standard Time from AT&T Stadium on ESPN's Monday Night Football. Don't forget to check that out. Here's what to watch for. So how Cowboys can rally around Andy Dalton to find success. So with the Cowboys take field without Dak. So and this will be life after Dak for the Cowboys. So circle upon the calendar as the first meeting featuring Kyler Murray and Dak Prescott. Instead, the Redbirds' second season sensation will face off with the Red Rifle and Andy Dalton, one of the league's most admired players. Prescott is gone for the season, and the eyes of Texans are now fixed upon how Andy Dalton does as Dallas's interim starter. Not since current Cowboys offensive coordinator Kellen Moore on January 26th threw for 435 yards in a loss to Washington. As a quarterback other than Prescott, started a game for Dallas. So Prescott's string of 72 straight starts, including playoffs, to begin his career will end Monday when Dalton makes his initial start as a Cowboy and his first start in anything other than a Bengals uniform. Like Dalton, Murray is a Texas native. But Dalton's a 3-time Pro Bowler who essentially ceded his franchise quarterback spot with the Bengals to 2020 number 1 overall pick Joe Burrow and will now face off with the 2019 number 1 pick. The Cowboys and Cardinals haven't played since a Monday nighter back in 2017, but Murray's Cardinals did defeat Dalton's Bengals last season. Though Dalton arguably outplayed the then rookie. Things are much different now, of course. Though the Cowboys have struggled in the win-loss column, Dallas brings number 1 offense in the NFL to the match up, while Murray's crew counters with number 10 ranking. While crashes abound for the Cowboys offense with Dalton at the helm, Murray is coming off back-to-back games with a plus 100 passer rating for the first time in his career per NFL research. And though he's never played an NFL game at the AT&T Stadium, he's 6-0 there, though ample high school and college glory. Cards rush ahead, sans Chandler Jones. So Arizona lost a superstar of its own as pass rusher Chandler Jones is gone for the season with the biceps injury. The younger brother of perhaps the greatest mixed martial artist of all time. Jones is down and out, and the Cardinals defense must figure out a way to move on without the player whose 97 sacks since joining the league in 2012 are more than any other player in that span. That written Jones leads with just 1 sack this season, and the Cardinals are tied for 8th in the league with 14 sacks. So 9 Cards have tallied sacks, 5 of them tied for the team lead with 2. Arizona's pass rush has been steady and diverse. So losing a talent like Jones isn't a riotous fate to move forward from. But against a depleted Cowboys offensive line, tied 16th in sacks allowed, Hassan Reddick, Corey Peters, Jordan Phillips, and the rest tasked with tracking down Dalton will begin doing just that on Monday. Every DeAndre Hopkins catch from 131-yard game for Week 5. So, will there be more Zeke with no Dak? Well, Dalton taking over as the Cowboys' #1 quarterback will draw plenty of attention, but Ezekiel Elliott should draw plenty of carries. Though Prescott was putting up huge numbers, the Cowboys' losing record had plenty pining for a more run-based attack with Zeke. So Dallas' offense comes into Monday having passed on 66.2% of its plays, second most in NFL. So Prescott was averaging a league high 44.4 passing attempts a game. So with Elliott's 89 carries are still fifth in the league, but it remains to be seen how or if his workload would change. Over his 13-year tenure with the Packers, Coach Mike McCarthy's offenses had a running back finish in the top 5 in carries just twice. So Elliott's yet to top 100 yards in 5 games this season, which ties his longest stretch of games without a 100-yard showing. But his first drought was last year, the first with Moore as offensive coordinator. A pair of rushing titles is in Elliott's back pocket, but a McCarthy offense has never produced a rushing champion. And for that matter, neither has an offense with Moore as OC. So Monday will be the first glimpse as to whether there is more to expect from Elliott or more of the same. So, an abundance of wideout standouts. So, Dallas has, a pair of wide receivers, and the Cardinals have a pair of wide receivers. So, 3 of the top 7 receivers in terms of yardage are going to take the field Monday for NFL research. But beyond that, there's just an astonishing amount of receiving talent set to hit prime time. DeAndre Hopkins is exactly the premier wideout the Cardinals were expecting when they traded for him this offseason, as he entered Sunday, leading the NFL with 45 receptions and 528 yards. And after injury issues early in the year, Christian Kirk is coming off his best performance of the season, 5 catches for 78 yards. Across the way, Dallas' trio of wideouts is lighting it up. Amari Cooper, CeeDee Lamb, and Michael Gallup have combined for 85 catches, 1,205 yards, and 4 touchdowns, with Cooper averaging career bests of 7.8 receptions and 84.8 yards per game, and Lamb joining Hopkins and Carolina's Robbie Anderson as the only wide receivers with 5 or more catches in each game so far. And of course, there's Mr. Larry Fitzgerald, one of the best to ever play the position. So Fitzgerald's career is no doubt winding down, and his season's hardly produced the numbers: 18 catches, 123 yards, no touchdowns. His Hall of Fame career is accustomed to, but any chance to see an all-time great on and off the field is a reason to watch Monday Night Football. So check those 2 games out tonight. One is already getting played on Fox, but tonight is the big game, Dallas and Arizona. Will the Cowboys still be in first about tonight? I think they will, because they only lost 2 games, and every other team in the NFC East has only won 1 game. But I think Dallas will lose. My prediction of that game is Arizona 30, Dallas 20. So we'll see what happens. To end my show today, I'm going to talk about the NJCAA. That's a division that the Montgomery College Raptors play in. So let's look at this. So following the recommendations from the NJCAA Presidential Advisory Council and the NJCAA Board of Regents, the NJCAA has announced its adjusted plan of action for the upcoming 2020-21 academic year. So following the Board of Regents vote a couple of Mondays ago, a majority of competition will be moved to the spring semester. That means no fall sports for the NJCAA. The most recent plan of action shifts all close contact fall sports to the spring semester. These sports include football, men's and women's soccer, and court volleyball. The NJCAA cross-country championships for all 3 divisions and half marathon championships will remain as their originally scheduled dates in the fall, as well as Division III women's tennis. So all winter sports competition will begin in January, with the majority of championship seasons moved from March to April of 2021. These sports include men's and women's basketball, wrestling, and swimming, and diving. Men's and women's bowling, and men's and women's indoor track and field will be held at the beginning of March of 2021. Spring sports competition remains intact with minor adjustments to dates. These sports include baseball, softball, beach volleyball, men's and women's golf, men's and women's lacrosse, track and field, and men's and women's tennis. So, along with the adjustments to competition season and championship dates, the NJCAA has provided information as it relates to scrimmage and practice dates and allowances in the fall. So, championships dates are subject to change based on championship facility and availability. If you have any questions about whether Montgomery College Raptors will be attending those games, log on to montgomerycollege.edu to find out. That's my show for today. I'm gonna have Shelby Ball back with me on Wednesday and a couple of other special guests with her. So I hope everyone has a great and wonderful Monday, and I'll be back on the air for the College Sports Report, episode 6 on Wednesday. My time could be different, but I'm gonna say I'll be on from 3 until 4 on Wednesday. So don't forget to check me out again on Wednesday for the sports report. Like I said, I'm gonna have 3 exceptional guests on my show Wednesday joining me, so you don't want to miss that out on that. So I want to thank everybody for always listening to me and for listening to the College Sports Report here on E-Radio WMCR. You all have a safe and happy Monday, and I'll see you on Wednesday. Peace.